And we are live. Welcome everyone in the episode number 99 of umbraCoffee. It's amazing how time flies. We still don't know what we will do for the episode 100. And as you can see here today, I'm not joined by Callum, but I have another great replacement today and another guest from Umbraco community, Steve Temple. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hey, very good. Yeah, great.
How was your week? Also so busy as ours?
Yeah, no, I think we announced Spark this week, so we've kind of just getting the website out really has been the hold up. So everything's kind of going on that now. I'm trying to book for speakers and get people to submit their talks and buy tickets now. But I mean, we're a lot better place than we were last year, so a lot earlier than we were last year. So it's good.
Yeah, that's good. We will be definitely talking about it later on. But I wanted to start from a really nice finding about not directly Umbraco. I don't know if you've seen it. It was a report shared by JetBrains about the developers community and developers around JetBrains in general. And what surprised me the most was the number of developers who are not contributing to open source, but they would like to. And this is 41% of developers. And if we're thinking about our community, our Umbraco community, open source, Hacktoberfest, and everything else, that's a huge statistic which we hopefully improving this year. Are you completing your Hacktoberfest challenge? Did you do any pull requests or activities around open source this month?
I had a plan of doing about 5 PRs, and I've done 0. I've been working on a couple of bits. We've just been so busy at work that it's difficult to squeeze in.
Yeah, and same here. I've managed to complete the challenge, but I'm not too proud from my pull requests because they were really small amendments to what I've already done with open source. But it's always good, and yeah, I can just highly recommend everyone to check this report. It's really a great statistic for everyone who is interested in the development community, what's going on nowadays, and stuff like that. And I was referring to Stack Overflow survey, which is the most popular probably, but this one is also good. So yeah, Hacktoberfest is going on, but Umbraco community is not lazy. And Sophie released the Dogs Diary this week, and from there we can find out how many contributions happened to documentation only, and what's improving, what's changing, how many new pages is coming when we are talking about Umbraco V8, especially because a lot of people highlighted that there was not so many documented stuff around V8. So it's good to see it, and I know that a lot of people used the Hacktoberfest to motivate themselves to contribute to the documentation and shared a lot interesting things for all of us there. And yeah, I hope to see. Did you contribute to documentation before, or you were purely focused around code?
Very small bits. It's when I find problems with it. One of my big complaints at sort of Code Garden this year was that I think the documentation wasn't really there for V8 when it first came out. So but it's definitely moved on leaps and bounds since then. So it's really been good to just sort of see it move along.
Yeah, I even found an article this week saying that the software is not worth of using if documentation about it is not complete, because people will be just dropping it if they won't find the information how to use it correctly. And so it's good to see that it's going well. And if I'm correct and I'm looking on the right number, 104 pull requests merged in 2 months. So that's amazing effort and amazing result. If we're talking about code, we cannot mention that Code Cabin is happening today. And I said before we went live that most of our biggest fans and supporters are probably right now in the train together with Callum and other participants. Steve, did you participate in Code Cabin before?
I went to the first Code Cabin and then really seriously applied since then. I'd love to do it again. It's just I had a child, and it becomes like it's a bit more difficult to find weekends where you can just sort of disappear.
Yeah, I'm just meanwhile sharing how it looks like, because it's a Umbraco conference, so it's really good to compare it with Umbraco conferences happening across the globe. It's something different, driven by Matt Brailsford and Lucy Brailsford from UK, and we are all looking forward to some results and insights and things being developed, discussed, and shared in the code cabin this year. So everyone who might be watching us from the gang who is going there, have a good time and just share as much as you can. That's always good to see what's going on there.
It's a great event. Just spending the weekend sort of chat, just catching up with everyone, and then like actually learning something new. It was brilliant when I went, even if I did get a bit too drunk the first night. But
I heard that it's all formalized right now, and it's more even a lot of results is coming out of it each year, and I'm always looking with jealous that it's so amazing time across so many great people. It must result in something amazing in the end.
Yeah.
But if we are talking about Matt and Lucy and Outfield Digital in general, there was another news this week. I don't know if you've seen it. Probably yes. It was the introduction of the Vendr, new e-commerce, not so new, but because it's built on top of T-commerce being owned by but Outfield Digital from a while, and it's a fresh solution, a fresh name for sure for e-commerce engine for Umbraco V8. Did you see it, by the way?
Yeah, I've been looking at this with interest, following Matt's sort of tweets. We have our own e-commerce platform which we've been working on, which is not really an Umbraco module. It's more of a standalone, so it sits in its own database, tables, etc. But I've been quite, I've been kind of. It feels a bit, I guess, a bit old-fashioned, like from the styling side of things to me now. Looking at Matt's new screens and things for stuff, so kind of inspire me to get that updated.
I also saw some other people being inspired by specifically those tweets and insights from it, because I think it's a great job done around making it as much built in to the platform and following the UI and everything else there. And I'm more than sure that also some of the work done here will result in the general improvements of Umbraco back office, because it's pointing to the places which can be improved in general. And I see Nathan Wolf being inspired. Kevin Jump said that there's a lot of work to do around other packages to make it similar to this behavior. And we are all also looking forward to have more documentation around it, specifically for all package creators who wants to build something and make it look like for example, Vendr or other packages for V8. That great work, and I can't wait to play more with it. And I know that Matt will be sharing more on UK Fest about it.
I think I was particularly impressed. I think Pete Duncanson said something about making it so you copy and paste addresses really easily, and Matt had that working in the evening, so it's pretty good going.
He's amazing, and those elements which are used there definitely will be useful for any other people who will be building something for Umbraco. And I've mentioned Nathan, and Nathan also teased us that he is still working on porting Plumber to be fully supported for V8. But in the meantime, he released the updated version of Preflight. So another great package done by the Content App, basically, which won the Content App Challenge last year. So some issues are fixed there, and it's there. Once again, one more V8 integrated stuff and package, which is just purely awesome. We also seen the Bulma starter kit update done by Matt Barlow. And I remember that it was something what people were really interested in, and starter kits are probably the niche still the niche in our ecosystem, and there are not so many of them being used. I don't know if you've used any. I remember you've built the whole solution for building code first sites, right? Mm-hmm. And did you use any of the starter kits?
I was at a London meetup where Matt demoed this for the first time, and it was like I was really impressed because it's a starter kit that's built more like how you would actually build a website, rather than I think like some of the starter kits that I've seen in the past have been like all the code in the views, and it's not like sort of the recommended way of building these days. So this one's really good for that. So, it's a good example if you start from somewhere.
Exactly. And from other releases, I found that there is a new package. I haven't tested it yet, but it's one more minifier called TinyFire for V8, purely V8. So a new way of minifying resources and assets by using tiny PNG, for example, and some other fancy ways to show what's optimized in the V8. So it's a new release. And everyone can check it out. It's on our Umbraco already. And of course, we will be mentioning once again the great work done by Perplex. I don't know if you've seen this preview of custom editing experience made by Perplex for V8. I know Jeffrey is going to demo it on November 21st on the Dutch meetup. But that's something what's really caught my eye and probably made a lot of inspirations for sure for everyone who wants to build a custom editing experience. Did you see this video?
I have not seen the video. I was sort of following this a while back and haven't really kept up to date. So
yeah, so this is the custom editor experience made for V8. It's not related with this marketing suite, but probably also kind of connected in terms of creating data based on the marketing suite, maybe inputs. It looks really cool. And whenever I'm thinking about custom work made for clients on top of V8, I'm always surprised how Perplex is doing it and making it custom for clients.
Really neat, yeah.
Yeah, the preview, smart preview. Yeah, that's amazing. Some UI UX experience is pretty cool, and I'm more than sure that editors love it or will love it. And I'm just curious if it will be released in terms of community work or packages to make it possible to be used in other solutions. But yeah, in general, it looks cool, and we will share the link to this video and tweet in the video description here.
That's really good. Yeah.
And that was about software. So let's right now talk about community. You're coming to UK Festival, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Our great team working on the website released the new update to the agenda where we can filter talks by the interests. So if some people are looking for specific topics, areas, they can check out which talks are covering some of the interests like .NET, headless, marketing. Maybe marketing people are coming, and there are also some descriptions of the talks in most of them from what I've seen. So we can learn more about specific talks and plan our journey. Are you looking forward to the specific talk or topic?
Yeah, there was a couple. I'd like to see Lars on his DI stuff. I'm always quite interested more hardcore back-end stuff. So yeah, Lars is a great guy as well, so really smart. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to go support Carl with his what the front end.
What the front? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's always interesting talk. So yeah, probably sort of around the back end track, like the high performance code.
So, exactly.
Yeah, it's probably my more interested areas.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this talk about airlines because I've heard that there was a lot of optimization and scalability included in this Umbraco build. And same as you, I will be probably heading to Lars talk and high.NET high performance C# code. So yeah, a lot of great talks, and those topics and interests just shows how variant it is this year. And I'm more than sure that everyone will find something for him or her. So yeah, go and check the agenda. And if someone still didn't book a ticket, it's still probably up to sale. And did you see that this gallery once again flying over the internet? It's a gallery from Umbraco UK Festival 2010. Some rare pictures of young people and community members who are still there, such as Warren or Niels and other people who were attending the 2010 festival. Which one of the festivals was your first?
I'm trying to think, because I think my first Code Garden was 2013, so this is before me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really attend or take part in the community, I think, at that point. I've just seen Neil short hair, so I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, and there is a unique picture of Matt Braithwaite without beard as well. So yeah, that's very vintage, and it was great to see those galleries, and they are still in the internet, and it's great to see some people are still there. And 2010, it's a long time ago, and it is a lot of time before me joining community as well. So that's awesome to see. But from the other hand, there are some also fresh. There is also a fresh gallery from the Dutch conference, which happened not so a while ago, and great pictures from there. So everyone who participated there can find out if they are on some pics or not. And it looked exactly as it was shared on social media. So awesome event, awesome atmosphere. I'm really sad that I couldn't make it this year. And Matt Braithwaite with a bird this time. But yeah, let's then jump on to another topic, because you've already mentioned Umbraco Spark. You are one of the main organizers, right? You are behind the Umbraco Spark, and you've released the new website with some first speakers announced. So tell us more about this event, the idea, and everything what's going on right now.
So we did this first one last year. Went really well. We had 110 people turn up last year for the first event. We were really happy with. But it's basically trying to fill a niche. I think the festivals are going away from, or diversifying into being more about the sort of holistic kind of Umbraco stuff. And so we were like, well, there's sort of a space in here for getting like just pure developer talks and conference. So everything here is for a developer. So I've tried this out and it worked very well. So we're doing another one this year, and it'll still be in the same place this year. So Bristol, March, and get your tickets in now, because we've got a sort of cheap pricing, early bird pricing at the minute. But we're going to gradually add more speakers as we go. We've got a few people we're talking to. So we'll do track one will be kind of curated and picked by us, and track two will be submitted talks by the website. And then, we'll see how that goes. So far, I've had really good responses. So we're kind of looking for people to buy. If you fancy coming along, get a ticket early. It helps us, and it helps. It's cheaper for you now. And if you fancy sponsoring, we're looking for sponsors for agencies, or agencies or gold partners, etc., to sponsor us. So, but this year it should be a bit more slick than last year. Although I think last year it went really well anyway. But we know pitfalls now. So should be. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a great event. So I'm just trying to work out what I'm going to talk about. I've got a few candidate talks, but I haven't quite narrowed it down yet. So some places come in,
But I remember some insights from this conference as well, and it's on my list to places to visit this for the next year for sure. So and I know how it's hard from the organizer perspective to make it all complete. So I'm totally inviting everyone to help you in general to sleep better, basically, and just be sure that it will be a great event for everyone attending. So submit your talks. Ask for partnerships opportunities, and check in the calendar if it will be possible to join this year. Look, it looks always awesome, and I remember that some talks from last year, and more than sure that everyone can find really tailored knowledge shared. And you said about tracks. Last year, did you have also 2 tracks, or it was a 1 track last year?
We had 2 tracks last year. So doing the same this year. I think it might be we're hoping slightly more people, but not massively more, because the venue's 50 minutes. So, but we will, we'll do two different tracks. So it should be a bit of everything, but it's developer on both sides. There isn't like a sort of business track. It's pure developer stuff. So
nice.
Last year we kind of really focused it on innovation and new stuff, and this year we expanded it to include just more back end heavy developer stuff as well, or front end heavy developer stuff. So just to try and kind of make it a bit easier to find talks, because last year we found people were struggling to come up with stuff that's all brand new and like exciting. So there's a little bit more practical stuff in there than there would be last year.
Okay. So I have right now an idea of talk to submit. So I will probably leave something there. Cool. That sounds awesome. And of course we once again invite everyone to participate in various ways. But also we can jump to topics of a little bit smaller events. You've mentioned Umbraco meetups, and we also have some them lined up this week. And today there is a Umbraco Ireland meetup. With some cool speakers, David, who was talking on the Polish festival as well. So yeah, the great event is upcoming. Everyone in Ireland is probably heading there today. But also there is some new information coming from I can't remember this name, the Tamis Valley Umbraco user group, which is having meetups in Reading, if I'm correct. And they have a new house right now, new place to meet up. So probably new community members will join them as well. And I promised them on Twitter that I will mention this new change. So yeah, have a great meetups and chats in the new place. And also, yeah, sorry.
It looks like a really cool space, that does. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit better than some of our Bristol meetups have been in the our office, all within chairs around the screen and stuff. So yeah, that'd be cool.
It's also tough from the perspective of a meetup organizer to find a solid place where you can be sure that always you are able to organize the meetup. As you can see, not today, but usually in my setup, I don't have an office, so I cannot have people in my house joining the meetup. So it's always great to have places who are supportive for the initiatives like that. Cool. And from other topics which are still on my list, I've seen the thread, which was not so heavily occupied by discussions, but it was about making EU benchmarks a part of kind of Umbraco offering or Umbraco source code. And I've shared some thoughts from my side because I'm really performance freak and I really like insights from the performance perspective. And I would love to see benchmarks being more exposed within the Umbraco code. I know that Umbraco is doing benchmarks, and there are some benchmark.net tests done. But yeah, it's a great idea. What do you think about it, Steve?
I think a while back it came up as is there source code for how do you get this? So is there something you can share? Because I would quite like. I think I'd quite like to run it on several different Azure sort of offerings like web apps levels and see how it performs on different web apps and stuff like that, so we can get an idea of. So yeah, if we could get off-road code / Pete is willing to share, we could get some more interesting sort of comparisons how different versions perform on different web apps and different VMs at Azure or AWS or something like that. So you can kind of see what sort of platform you need to get the performance you want and things as well.
But yeah, and I also remember that Umbraco HQ was always sometimes saying that some of the measurements might not be exact and correct because their measurements were different. So that might solve this issue and make sure that whatever is coming from the let's say real life or pure measurements from Umbraco is exposed and everyone can just see it and validate it and be sure that the new version is solving some of the issues maybe present in the code and applications being delivered for clients. That would be awesome.
Yeah. It'd be great.
So yeah, for anyone who don't know the EU benchmarks, that was the work done by Off-Road Code at some point, and they were always sharing some new benchmarks after the new Umbraco releases, and they were really cool to see and compare specific releases between each other, and I loved it. So it's good to have it somewhere closer to Umbraco source code for sure. And last but not least, we have a blog post about new hire at Umbraco HQ. It's Matthias who joined the HQ recently, and if you want to meet a new person, being a new addition to the great Umbraco HQ team, find out more about Matthias here. I just seen that he is also enjoying the ski and winter sports, so I already I already see some connections here. And another thread which was really cool to see, and I really want to elevate this talk and chat between other package creators. Steve, I know you've been also involved in some packages and work done around it. Peter wanted to release something what he thought is really cool for him, but maybe not going to be cool for everyone else. And it resulted in some of discussion here. And I really wanted to highlight Niels' response that for anyone who is sharing anything, basically, it's probably the best thing and output is that we learn when we share. And we have a validation and feedback to whatever we shared. So I don't see any reason to not share our work and to not be proud of anything what we are doing. And do you agree with me, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's I think when you first start doing it, you're quite intimidated because you're like, I guess you're never 100% happy with any code you write. So and you kind of think, well, you know, before I make it public, I'll just tidy this up, and then it just becomes like an endless tidy up, and you never release anything. So I think like there's that, and there's the you know, is this going to be useful? Is it worth my time? And that's another thing. But yeah, I think it's always quite scary to send your code out there into the web and then like expecting everyone to sort of criticize it. But generally, you know, if it does the job, people might have input on how to make it improve it, but it's helpful to share, and you learn stuff by looking and by getting feedback on it. So it's good. But yeah, the other thing about whether, you know, this thing I'm writing, is it going to be useful to anyone? I'd say almost certainly that the thing that always puts me off slightly is then like someone will use it in a way you're not intending, and then it's not meant to do that.
But still, you will have the validation and feedback from users, and maybe you can extend the way how you use it. Yeah, that's always valuable.
Yeah.
I'd say that even if it's a valuable thing for a single person, that's probably better than keeping it private or close or just for ourselves. And I remember how I was scared before my first contribution or exposure in the community, because I felt that maybe I'm not too good to share my code. And as you've said, it's not perfect, but year by year, I realized that it never will be perfect, and I even found the quote saying that if we are not ashamed of our work from yesterday, we are not evolving or learning, because it always can be made better and better. So that's definitely not a reason.
Number of times I've sort of picked up a piece of code and I'm like, oh, who wrote this? This is awful, and then it's like, oh, it was me.
Cool. So that's all what we prepared. Jan Scofiard also reminded me and us that there is an Aarhus meetup coming. So for everyone in this area, just a short reminder that this is ongoing. And sorry, Jan, for missing it. And it was a great set of news. If we missed anything, just don't hesitate and let us know. Feel free to share your work to be mentioned on the next umbraCoffee. And Steve, thank you for joining me this week, and we can once again wish everyone attending Code Cabin and any other events this week to have a great time, and invite everyone to be a part of episode 100 of umbraCoffee in the upcoming week or weeks. I don't know. And
you're going to have to make it special somehow.
Yeah, for sure. And we will see each other, Steve, and everyone else on UK Fest in 2 weeks. So if anyone will have questions about Umbraco Spark or anything else, straight up to you, everyone can find you there. So we are all looking forward to it, and we can right now just wish everyone to have a great rest of the day and a great weekend ahead. Thank you, Steve, once again.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. End of the